I'm back today with another reflection piece, and today's topic is the mechanisms we use for weight loss and how they're so skewed in the wrong direction. So today's main point is that people use exercise for fat loss or for weight loss way more than they should, or they use it as a sort of a crutch or the be all and end all or the main, I suppose, facilitator from point A to point B. So you're at point A, you want to lose so much weight or so many pounds or lose body fat, and their mode of transport is always exercise, and they kind of seem to leave everything else by the wayside or leave everything else to chance. Um, Now, for most people, on average, who start an exercise regime, they're going to be training. Let's say your average person who comes into a gym or into one of our gyms comes and they decide they're in their mid-30s and they decide they want to lose a bit of weight. Being honest, 80% of the people who come in just want to lose a bit of weight, feel fitter, lose some fat, build a bit of muscle. It's the rare few that want to put on a bit of weight. So let's say you're in your mid-30s or whatever. You're coming into the gym, you're starting a program and you want to lose weight. A lot of the times and a lot of places I see they sell or they kind of push this sort of extremer or higher package of sale where it's 5, 6, 7 days a week, two classes a day if you want, or I suppose extreme sort of sweat sessions, and they kind of, you're kind of told that you're told that this exercise regime alone is going to bring you along this journey that you're here for and get you from point A to point B. And what I'm saying is, for most people who have lives, who have relationships, who have commitments, who have jobs, who have so much going on already, first of all, that is probably an unsustainable model. Secondly, the average, most of those will train consistently a week for the next while is probably going to be, or forever, it's probably going to be somewhere in the 2 to 4 day range. So if you look at those 2 to 4 days, you're talking 45 minutes to an hour, roughly speaking. So you're going to give, let's say you're on the higher end of that and you train 4 days and you train 4 hours a week. That's basically an hour each session. There's 168 hours in the week. 4 hours out of that, I think, is over 2.3% or around 2.3%. So you're going to put all your eggs in 2.3% and hope that you're going to get a huge return on investment for it. It's a bit silly really when you put it that way, because if you're going to put any mass amount of effort into 2.3% of something, the return on investment isn't going to be that big. What you want to do is spread your eggs in different baskets. So the main mechanism for weight loss and the main mechanism for fat loss or anything like that, of course, strength training and resistance training and exercise is important. It has so many important paybacks for you, your mood, your physical appearance, your cognitive function, your ability to be independent, your pain management, things like this, even for your own energy. But as a tool for weight loss, it's probably not the way to go. If you want to lose weight or you want to lose fat, of course, losing fat kind of indicates that you want to maintain muscle, and the weight you lose, the majority of it you want to be is fat. So strength training or training is going to be a part of that. But let's say it's weight loss, and if weight loss is what you are going for, or what your goal is, then you need to look at your food. And people are so quick to just say they'll jump on any sort of exercise train. They'll go ham 7 days a week, an hour each day. They'll burn their candle out in a few weeks, but they will not change their dietary habits, or they will not make actual changes to their habits. So I've seen it a million times. People, maybe for 6 weeks, they go on this transformation plan or some form of plan, 6 to 12 weeks, whatever, and they go as hard as they can. They're get a meal plan. They're really regiment. One Friday they're eating their usual meal, and on Monday they're training extremely hard. They're eating a set meal plan which looks absolutely nothing like their Friday. They know, this is what I have to do. I'm doing it for 6 weeks. I can buy into this. This is easy. That 6 weeks is up. You've reached a certain point. You've reached a certain goal, probably quicker than you would have reached it if you were to take a slower approach, or if you were to take a more sustainable approach, but you've reached that goal. All of a sudden, you're done. You've reached the goal, and next thing, within the next few weeks, next few months, you start to see those old habits creep back in, and you start to see your body change again, and you're starting to put on weight, and all of a sudden you're back to square one. And this happens so many times with so many people I've seen. And it's funny how people can buy into this for 6 weeks, and they can really jump on the bandwagon of eating broccoli and fucking chicken 3 times a day with a protein shake for 6 weeks because they know they're going to get to a certain point. But after the 6 weeks, everyone knows they're fucked, really. It's unsustainable. So the approach you need to look at is, if you're eating a meal on a Friday, you know, if you're going into a sort of a plan that has you fucking eating stuff you would never eaten before, changing totally everything from day one by the next Monday, then that is too quick. That is unsustainable. You need to see what you're doing and make small changes and adapt to that a long time. You need to make sure that you are taking necessary steps and you're not skipping over these important steps in between, because those important steps in between are what builds the habits and are what builds the big lifestyle changes. It's not, the lifestyle change isn't from one end to the next, which is what's happening when people jump on these kind of plans or these transformations where they're suddenly eating one thing the Friday and something the Monday. They're skipping that whole few weeks in between where you should be making sustainable changes. So such simple stuff like, okay, for the next week I'm going to nail X amount of water every day. Right, I have that nailed. Next habit I'm going to enforce is getting 2 pieces of fruit every day spread throughout the day. Good, that's nailed. A week later, right, 1 meal a day is going to be half a plate of veg. And then the next week I'm going to add a quality source of protein to each meal, or 90% of meals every day, no matter what. And so on and so forth. And by the end of these 8 weeks or 6 weeks, if you were to do it that way, you'd have so many habits built up that you've sort of built your own system towards getting to your goal. Now, will you get there in the 6 weeks that you would have gotten there if you went ham, as I said? No, you will not. But using exercise as the tool is not going to help. It's going to help a small bit, sorry. It is going to help. But it's not going to be the be all and end all. And that's where people are really getting mixed up. So if you're someone who wants to lose weight, wants to lose body fat, no matter who you are, you should be doing some form of exercise, no matter what the goal is, and some sort of resistance training, be it using weights, body weight, bands, Pilates, different methods, CrossFit, powerlifting, dumbbell work, kettlebell work, whatever. You should be resistance training a few times a week. That's irrelevant. That goes for everyone. Now, let's say weight loss is the goal. You need to look at other things. You need to look at your sleep. You need to look at your nutrition. You need to look at the other baskets that you have, and you need to spread your eggs throughout them rather than just pouring all of your eggs into this one basket hoping it's going to get you to point A, from point A to point B. That's kind of my main point today, is you shouldn't really just see exercise as a tool to lose weight, or as a calorie burning tool, or as a tool to get your weight or body fat percentage from point A to point B. Because if your nutrition isn't in check, none of that's going to fucking work anyway. Yes, you're going to get so many other benefits from strength training, but losing weight, or sustainably losing weight, or losing body fat at a certain rate is not going to be one of the things you avail of from strength training. The only way you can lose weight is by putting yourself into a deficit. People say there's 3 ways. So the first is through your food and nutrition, so taking in less calories than you burn a day. The second is from moving more, and this is misinterpreted because people take moving more as exercising more, but moving more is moving throughout the day, spontaneous activity, your NEAT, your step count, what you're doing all day, every day. So those 2 are the 2 mechanisms, and the third is a mixture of both, or a combination of both. Now, if I had to pick one of them and stick to it for losing weight, be it one of the first 2, I would 100% go for the nutrition. You're not going to get anywhere without that, or without consuming less calories than you're expending throughout the day. So that's important to note, that there are steps to this. If you're looking at the long term, which you all should be, then you need to look at it as a step-by-step approach, and you need to build lifestyle habits and reinforce those habits over a period of time, rather than just getting a meal plan and changing everything from day one. Yes, it'll work in the short term, but I guarantee you, for 90%, 95% of you, you will be back to square one before you know it.